Police officers, what's by far the most disturbing case you have ever worked on? A couple of years ago our station got a disturbing call from a mother in hysterics, telling us that her daughter had taken her own life. We rushed over there and the mother was being comforted by everyone that could, and when we went inside the house we saw the little girl covered by the medics. However, there was one very strange thing about it, and it's that there were signs of this not being a suicide. Despite the fact that the suicide note was written and found on the bedside table of her bed, things did not add up. The dosage she had taken should not have been enough to unalive her, and she had injuries on her body. We talked to the mother, who gave the story of her shopping at the grocery store and of coming home to find her daughter. However, we still took the girl for an autopsy as the experts had some very big questions regarding the entire suicide. Well, at the autopsy we made a shocking discovery, which was that liquid cyanide was present in her system. How did this girl get her hands on liquid cyanide? We all pondered to ourselves, and so now we started suspecting a potential poisoning. We took the mother in and doing this hurt deeply, as I really wanted to believe that she was not responsible for the death of her daughter. We had to question her. We asked her if she had any idea about the cyanide in her daughter's body and she of course claimed no. It was then that we started looking for hardcore evidence, and while going through the computer of the dead daughter, we discovered that she had placed orders for liquid cyanide on the dark web. This would make sense according to her mother, as the daughter was a tech nerd who had an unbelievable understanding of computers and how to access places. Why would she do it through the dark web however, as this was by far the least convenient way to get hands on it? This raised a lot of questions, but ultimately no matter how hard we tried, there was not a single piece of evidence that pointed to anyone but the daughter herself being responsible for her death. After months of investigating and not a single clue leading us anywhere, we confirmed her death to be a suicide. Throughout this whole process I greatly comforted the mother.
2. I've worked as a police officer for 15 years, and I've seen things most people wouldn't believe. But there's one case that still haunts me. It started with a missing persons report, nothing unusual. A woman called in, saying her brother hadn't answered his phone in 2 days. She sounded calm at first, but there was something in her voice, a nervous edge, like she already knew something was wrong. We went to his house for a welfare check. His car was in the driveway, his front door locked, no signs of forced entry. We knocked, called his name, but no answer. His sister arrived and used her spare key to let us in. The second I stepped inside, I felt it, something was off. The air was thick, heavy, like the house itself was holding its breath. The living room was neat, nothing out of place. Same with the kitchen. But the moment we walked down the hall, the smell hit us, rotting meat. My partner and I exchanged a look. We knew what that meant. We found him in his bedroom. He was sitting upright in a chair, hands resting on the armrests, eyes wide open. But he wasn't alive. He'd been dead for days, his skin pale and sunken. But there was something wrong about the scene. His expression, it wasn't fear. It was like he was frozen in the middle of listening to something. And then we noticed his ears. They were gone. Not cut off, not bloody, just gone, like they had never existed. The skin was smooth where they should have been. No wounds, no scars. Just empty. We called it in, secured the scene, did everything by the book. The coroner arrived, checked the body, and that's when things got worse. The time of death didn't make sense. He had been missing for 2 days. But according to the coroner, he had only been dead for a few hours. That meant he had been alive, without ears, for at least a full day before he died. There was no sign of struggle, no forced entry, no blood. The doors were locked from the inside. Nothing in the house was missing. There were no defensive wounds, no drugs in his system. Nothing that explained what had happened. We checked security cameras in the neighborhood. No one had entered or left his house. No one had even approached it. The last footage of him alive showed him walking into his house, closing the door, and never coming out again. His phone was next to him on the desk. I picked it up, thinking maybe he had recorded something or sent a message. It was open to the voice recording app. I pressed play. At first, there was nothing, just silence. Then, a faint scratching noise, like something moving inside the walls. Then breathing. Not his. Something else. And then, a whisper. A voice so low I could barely hear it. "Can you hear me now?" That was the last thing recorded. We never found an explanation. The case remains open, but there are no leads. No suspects. No logical reason for what happened.